There is an amazing story about a guy who was, he's an Army Ranger. He was in the hospital in an intensive care unit in Afghanistan. He had just been injured by 13 IEDs. Many of the members of his unit were killed by a woman who was wearing a suicide vest, and then the other IEDs went off. He was just blown to bits. His name is Josh Hargis. Hargis's commander just sent a letter to his wife along with a picture, and he said every newspaper and every television station should have this picture and tell this story, and it should be on the front page. That's why it is on our television if you are watching the Blaze TV right now, and why I'm telling you the story on radio, and why it is on the front page of theblaze.com. Let me tell you the story. Before being transferred from Afghanistan to Germany, he was given his Purple Heart. Now, he's laying in the hospital, and he has tubes up his nose. He has wires and tubes running everywhere. He is restrained. He has his neck in a restraint. He's horribly injured, and everybody thinks he's unconscious. The commander comes in, and he gives him the Purple Heart. And I'm going to read to you what the commander wrote in the letter to Hargis's wife. During the presentation, the commander published the official orders verbally. I leaned over Josh to thank him for his sacrifice. Josh, whom everybody in the room, over 50 people, assumed to be unconscious, began to move his right arm under the blanket in a diligent effort to salute his commander. Despite his wounds, wrappings, tubes, and pain, Josh fought the doctor who was trying to restrain his right arm and rendered the most beautiful salute any person in the room has ever seen. Grown men began to weep. We were all speechless at a gesture that speaks volumes about Josh's courage and character. The picture, which we believe belongs on every news channel and every newspaper, is attached. I have it hanging above my desk now, and will remember it as the single greatest event I have witnessed in 10 years in the Army. These guys have so much honor in them. The guys who are on the front lines have so much honor, so much decency. You know, when I talked to General Boykin a couple of weeks ago, he was on TV with me, maybe a month ago. And this is before we were treating our veterans the way we're treating them now. Our World War II veterans, for the love of Pete. And he said, it's time for somebody with stars to take their stars off and walk into the office of the president and put them down on the table and say, I'm done. And then go out and explain to the American people why. He doesn't think that there's anybody that will do that now. He doesn't think that we have anybody that has the rank high enough, that has the courage to do it. He hopes we do. But when I asked him, can you name anybody? He said no. If we don't have somebody, I mean, look at what happened just last weekend at the World War II Memorial. Those are who our soldiers are. They weren't protesting for them or anything else. They were saying, treat our World War II veterans with dignity and honor. Treat them with honor. Is there no general? Is there no one? I don't think you can even log on to the Blaze or listen to me now at the Pentagon. I mean, back in the Gulf War, we were one of the few shows, Pat and I were one of the few shows that were actually carried over in the Middle East for our troops. I don't think you can actually even log on to the Blaze anymore at the Pentagon. I think we're probably deemed some sort of a hate group. But if that's not true, is there anybody? Is there anybody listening overseas? Is there anybody with some metal on their shoulders that sees what's going on and looks at that picture and says, that's what this is about? This is about honor and integrity and decency. And what we have going on now is not about honor. And you can't just sit here. You can't just let this slip away. This is your country. You took a vow and an oath to defend it and its constitution. And if there's, why we don't have high-ranking military and high-ranking former military standing guard at the World War II Memorial. What they did this weekend was pretty remarkable. But why we don't have them standing guard, why we don't have them standing in place. Look what John Kerry did. John Kerry took his medals and threw it over, in a lie, threw his medals over the White House lawn. And look at what happened then. He became a senator because of that. He became Secretary of State because of that. Because he made up lies. You'd be telling the truth. Look what they're teaching. Look how they're turning their head. They won't even teach you who the enemy is anymore. How are you expecting to win a war where you can't even identify the enemy? What are we doing? We're disconnecting from reality and closing our eyes and hoping that it'll all go away. But it won't.